Good morning, dear friends, and welcome back to the vlog. It is a glorious Monday morning, and I have set the whole day aside to just be in my house, not do too many things today, and just fully relax. I can't tell you how much better I'm feeling now that we are not taking our trip, and I can just have these extra few weeks to just calm down. I truly am not sure why I was feeling so, I don't know, I just felt so very overwhelmed and not even overwhelmed. That's not even the correct word. I don't have like the word for it. I just was feeling exhausted, and maybe my period is coming, and maybe we will have the answer to some of this in a few days. But I'm just so grateful for my own discernment, intuition, and the things that have unfolded over the weekend to help us realize that this isn't the best timing. Let's take a minute, and we'll go when we originally planned, and that's all okay. Life is just a myriad of pivots and changes, and I think not being afraid to say, you know what, this isn't working, we need to pivot and change here is something that maybe isn't talked about enough. We say like, I'm gonna do this, and we want to hold so strong to our guns, which I think in some instances, yes, is important. When you say you're gonna do something, you need to do it, but sometimes you need to say it's okay to pivot because this isn't hurting or affecting anybody, and changing it is actually making things better for everyone involved. So I'm just taking the whole day to enjoy. We do unfortunately have someone coming to the house. Not unfortunately, it is a good thing because it needs to happen. We had someone come on Friday to check the AC unit now that it is spring, and we had such a little heat wave last week. Came to check the AC unit, even though we had it inspected. We have since learned that just because your house was inspected before you buy it doesn't always mean that things are working. If you follow my TikTok, you know we had like a major plumbing issue in the basement the day after we moved in. So we had the AC checked, just to avoid any surprises. And apparently it's not working how it should. But since we can run that under our home warranty, we called our home warranty people, my husband did, and they're sending an AC guy to come and check it, but he's like connected to the home warranty, but he's coming at 2. So I am planning to do my grocery run while he's in the house, and my husband is just going to take care of that. And I do need to drop off something to my son at school, so I'm gonna leave the house at 2, and I'm going to drop that off at the school, and then I'm going to run to the grocery store, and that will be my only activity for the day. But I, as a housewife, view it as my job to make sure that the house is full of food, it is clean, the vibe is set. So I'm gonna go do my Pilates, and then I'm gonna spend a few minutes meal planning. I do this every Monday, and I've wanted to share this on TikTok, but can't figure out a way to share it without it being so long. So YouTube it is. I feel like I can do so much more on YouTube. I can talk about things I want to talk about. I can show you guys more of the things I feel like I can't show you on TikTok. So I'm gonna walk you through how I plan my weeks. I do that every Monday morning, and I finally found a calendar. I like to hang up like a monthly calendar in our home and just have like key dates called out so that my son and my husband can see it, and I can also reference it. I like to have a visual aid. I like to decorate it. So I finally found a calendar that I like. I'm gonna get that kind of more filled out, even though it is the end of March, but I can show you what that would look like as well. And then I'm going to heat up my Sakara, which I'm excited to walk you guys through Sakara meals this week, because I am a huge fan of Sakara. It's my number one brand. It was the number one brand I ever worked with on TikTok. So love, love, love Sakara. Could not say any more nice things about them. Yeah, so we're gonna eat Sakara this week. It's gonna be a beautiful vlog. I cannot say enough how much I love you too, but let's go and do some Pilates together. All right, down in the basement, about to start my Pilates routine, and the number one question I get asked, because I have my own reformer at home, is do you follow a certain instructor or a certain tape? And I think people are looking for a recommendation of an online instructor, and the honest answer, and I always feel bad, is I don't. I make it up in my head as I go along. I was doing Pilates exclusively. I stopped doing every other sort of workout and was only doing Pilates for a good chunk of time. And I was going to one specific studio, and they did such a good job with their instructors. A certain girl, I'd go to the 10 a.m. or the 9 a.m. Monday through Saturday. She was always there, and she just did such a beautiful job of adjusting her class to make it different, because she knew that her regulars were going to come in every day at 9 a.m. and she didn't want to have the same class for us, versus the studio that I was going to here in Salt Lake, which is lovely. They would switch the instructor. It wasn't the same instructor Monday through Friday, and then it would switch, it wouldn't switch instructors, but it would have the same setup, the same 45-50 minute class, but with a different instructor. I think the instructors were making up their own lessons, but I don't know if they just weren't as experienced. And so it was the same class, and it just drove me crazy. So we ended up buying my own reformer, but the class I went to in New York, same instructor, but different class every single time, because she was wanting to switch it up for us and to give a different workout, a different focus on a muscle each day. So learned so much from them. I'm not an instructor. I have never been trained in Pilates, but I just absorbed all of that because it was the only workout I was doing. So I was just soaking all of that information in. So I do my structure in the exact same way. It's a 45-minute class, or 45-minute session class, I guess, a solo class at home by myself. 45-minute session to 50 to even an hour, just depending on, if I'm moving slower, if I want to do more reps. But the goal is to always at least do 45 minutes. And then within that, I break it up into 15-minute segments. So you're gonna have 3 sections, and in each section, you're going to do abs, arms, and legs. I like to start with abs, and then you can do whatever you want afterwards, but I think starting with abs, just get your core warmed up, is important. So start with abs, arms, legs, and then just repeat that 3 times. I like to end with abs. So if you want to, the third one, you could do arms, legs, and then abs, or you could do abs, arms, legs, and then add an extra ab. And that's where maybe it'll take me 50 minutes and then plus 5 minutes of stretching with feet and straps. And then I always stretch off the reformer to do my splits, and then just additional stretching, because stretching is what helps you. I mean, do not quote me. I am in no way a medical sports science instructor in any capacity, but stretching, I've noticed, has helped me make my muscles look longer, and it makes me just feel better. And I can do so much more on the reformer when I am consistent with my stretching. When I feel tight and just pent up with tightness, it feels like I can't do what I need and what I want on the reformer. So about an hour down here on the reformer stretching. I always listen to a podcast. I have this I have talked about in, I believe TikTok. Both sent this to me, and they're not paying me to talk about it, but I'm fully obsessed. I listen to a podcast, typically a Bishop Barron podcast, and then there is a Letters from Home with Scott Hahn, and he walks through the daily liturgy. So listen to this and couple podcasts in, and then I'm all set and ready to go. But yeah, if you are interested in the reformer, because that's my second most asked question, it is the Balanced Body. I have it in the Adobe White, so that's this here. And then you need to get I cannot remember the exact name, but there are 2 different options for this foot bar here. Get the more expensive one. It's heavier, and it just, when you're putting your feet up on it, you're leaning on it with your body, you're gonna want that heavier, more sturdy feeling. And then the other thing you need to add is the feet. So I don't know, let me see if I can move. Like, it's taller because it has the feet. So add the feet. And then I believe you have to buy, no, the straps come, I think the shoulder blocks, because these shoulder blocks come out. So if you want to do moves without it, I don't do that as often when I was first learning. I feel like in first taking classes, we were like always taking these out. I don't do that as often. And then I bought the pad to go on the foot plate for when you want to put your hands on there, or your feet. This is also really lovely if you are stretching. I used to have hardwood underneath my reformer, so I would stretch with this. So this is super lovely. And then the box, you have to get the box. Have to. Even if you get nothing else. Ooh, I don't know. The feet, because if you don't have the feet, then you can't lunge on the side of the reformer. And then lunging with the box, let me show you, it lines up perfectly when you have the feet. Without the feet, let me see. Let me show you. Like when you put this down to lunge, like see how it lines up perfectly with the reformer without the feet. I think this would be taller. And then when you stand to lunge, like it just lines up perfectly. Versus, I wonder if I would be like up here without the feet. Let me scooch down. Anyways, that is my little Pilates feel. I will film a little bit and show you some of my workout today. The basement is such a work in progress. The windows, as you can see, are high up. The lighting down here is awful. I had this in our bedroom at my old house, and the lighting was incredible. I feel like I could film these stunning Pilates videos. Now it just is like, it's so ugly that I've tried to film, and it just like, it's hideous. We need baseboards. I need to paint down here, and just, we've already invested so much in the basement with the plumbing issue that I just can't. I like, there's so many things in an old house that have to be fixed that I just have kind of abandoned it down. I've not abandoned it, but it's just not, it's not the top priority. So I feel like bad filming down here when it just is looking so scary. But eventually would love for this little section to become like such a stunning Pilates studio. I'd love to somehow close it off from the rest of the basement so that you're not looking at it when you come down, because I think people are confused. They're like, what is that? And I'm like, it's a Pilates machine. I'm like, I promise it's workout equipment. Anyways, I will show you a few moves. I will try to. Just filmed a few TikToks because I feel like I have been ignoring TikTok lately. So I filmed a few videos and now I'm ready to have my lunch and relax for a minute. And I'm going to have a soup from Sakara because it is a little bit chilly out today. And what I love about the Sakara meals is even though they tell you what to have on each day, when you're first starting, I highly suggest just doing what they tell you. But once you're doing it for a minute, you can kind of just pick and choose whatever sounds good to you. So I'm going to do the Southwestern Sunset soup because it's a little chilly today and I absolutely love their soups. Typically they will come with a muffin or some sort of cornbread. These are gluten-free. It's a Chipotle corn muffin, and of course all of Sakara is gluten-free. That's why I started with them to begin with. Open this. And this, I've had this meal a few times. They do repeat a lot of their meals, but it's such a high amount of meals that they create that it's not often that you're getting a repetition, but because I've been doing it for so many years, I now have favorites. And this corn muffin, you guys, is so delicious. I think it has, what I also love about Sakara is they will kind of explain to you what the highlight is and why it's good for you. So this one has Chipotle, and then it has a whole little spiel. What do you get when you combine a protein-rich blend of quinoa and chia seeds with invigorating cilantro and chipotle peppers? The supercharged muffin. With smoky flavor and irresistible texture, it's the perfect match for our Southwestern Sunset soup. So dip away. And then they're like cute and clever. So it tells you like what's the important thing that you're getting. And I just love that. So I will heat this up in the oven for probably 5 or 6 minutes. The soup will warm up on the oven. But again, if you are working from an office and you don't have space to warm things up, you could simply just eat this. It doesn't have to be warmed up. At home, teaching myself to cook, I feel like I have the confidence now to create healthy gluten-free meals at home. And I feel like I've figured out the balance of how much gluten my body can take before I start to have a reaction. Obviously I try to eat as little gluten as possible. Again, I'm not celiac, but it does affect me. And so I have to be very careful with how much I am consuming. so cold down in the basement. I didn't realize the basement is always chilly, but I feel like it'll give me a good idea of maybe it's just because I've been sat and filming TikToks and then, oh, sat here. I've got my minky blanket, which I love a minky. And I don't know if I've just been sat for too long, but I am chilled. Like I should go put a sweater on or something and change out of this springtime dress. It is like all of a sudden winter, but finished my meal. The other thing I wanted to say about the Sakara is that when you're a stay-at-home mom, you are cooking breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, desserts, all the things. If that's the kind of stay-at-home mom you want to be, that's the kind of housewife you want to be. That is what I aspire to be, and I would say that I am. Most everything in our house is homemade for the most part. Having somebody make your lunch, like having a meal plan, a meal delivery service for your lunch as a stay-at-home mom is actually such a treat. I didn't have to cook anything, didn't have to prep anything. Like, yes, I put the muffin in the oven and I warmed up the soup, but then I just like, I was done. That was it. It was made for me. It's delicious. So if anything, if you're a stay-at-home mom or housewife, order the Sakara just so that you can have someone else make your lunch. A lot of the times my lunches will be leftovers from dinner, so I get the same treat there, but I haven't had Sakara, I don't know, since we moved in, maybe, or the first week of January, and I just loving it, and it's going along so nicely with my relaxing afternoon. I've been watching Lydia's vlog, her latest one, where she bought her new home, and I like almost teared up watching her talk about announcing the new purchase. I'm so thrilled for her. I have a little bit left. I'm not sure if she's going to show us anything. I hope she does. I'd love to see the home, but she was talking about how she has to be so careful with these things on the internet, and I feel very similar. I have had some really crazy, scary messages sent to me. It's heartbreaking, and things that have been said to me, I can't imagine. She's been on the internet longer. I can't imagine things that have been said and done to her. So sad that we can't, see that. Hopefully she'll share parts of the home, but I like completely understand that she won't and hasn't. And it's just, yeah, it's really very sad that that's how it is. But yeah, you have to be so careful with what you share, which is why I refuse to show. I show the smallest snippets of my son, if any, because it's not worth it. And I try not to talk. Even earlier, I had mentioned something that he was doing this week, and I was like, no, like the internet doesn't need to know that he's doing that. So anyways, I think I'm gonna put a sweater on, and then I'm gonna continue to sit here and finish Lydia's vlog, and then my cute girl Josie has uploaded a new one that I'm excited to watch, and I think I'll needlepoint because it's still pretty early, and I will do my meal planning. I'm gonna give myself like a good hour. I'm gonna needlepoint for an hour. I'm gonna sit here and watch my vlogs. Working in the house, and it's just a little loud, and my husband is also home, so he can help the guys with the AC. So there's a lot going on in the house, but I wanted to walk you through how I plan my weeks and my months, because I'm about to sit down and do that. I never did it yesterday. I really try to do it on Monday mornings, but some weeks I'm just not feeling it and I don't force it, and that's totally fine. So when I say plan my weeks, I'm talking about like running to the grocery store, just managing my house as a stay-at-home mom. So this is kind of how I run it. It's more like a habit tracking / like meal planning system that I use that I'll walk you through. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday is when I go to the grocery store. Monday is kind of like a more bigger reset to get me to Thursday night. And then Fridays are another bigger reset to get me through the weekend. There's nothing worse than going with your family to the grocery store over the weekend, especially when you're a stay-at-home mom and you have the time to go. And again, I'm not talking about like women with really young children. You just got to do what you got to do. I'm talking like where my children are older. I have most of the day to myself. So that's kind of what I'm referring to when like I just view it as my responsibility to make sure those things get done. Just want to clarify that. So Monday is a bigger grocery reset. Wednesday is what I just lovingly call a berry run. I'm not going to do a bigger reset, but I'm going to buy more sumo oranges or more strawberries because we seem to just really go through those so quickly. So Friday then is for the whole weekend. So Monday I'm going to plan to Thursday, and then Friday morning I'm going to plan for the weekend. Like, what do we want to have Friday night? What night are we eating out? What are we having Sunday after church? Those kind of things. So I have this really cute planner that I got at Barnes & Noble. It's by Paper Source and it's in Cinderella Blue, which is my signature color. So that's why I got her. And she has a beautiful weekly layout. As you can see, I've done nothing. And then it has this to-do section, which I don't use that as like a to-do. I use that as a habit tracker. So I'm going to write down, did I drink my 3 40-ounce Stanleys? Did I take my medicine? Did I go on my 45-minute walk or hour walk? Did I do my 45-minute Pilates? Did I, whatever, did I pray my rosary? Whatever other little like habit tracking things that I just want to track every single day, that's what I'm going to put in here. And then if there's something specific, that needs to happen that day, I might put that there, or I'm going to make it as an appointment. Like Monday mornings, I do tennis with a friend, or Fridays, actually this Friday, I'm going to do tennis. So write that in there. Do I have a dentist appointment? Do I have little things like that? So I'm not filling this up. Like I know probably from the housewife shifts, it seems like maybe I'm more OCD about my schedule, but I'm just going to fill in like what's for dinner. If I have Sakara that week, like I might write down like Sakara lunch, Sakara breakfast, or do I want to make a specific breakfast for my son? So I might say like, hey, like French toast. But for the most part, I'm writing dinners and appointments that I have just inside these boxes. I'm not overwhelming myself with 1,000 different to-dos. You guys know I don't like to be too busy, but do I have a breakfast planned with a friend? So even though I have this planner and I take it seriously and I love to do it, I'm not a slave to it, and I'm not filling my time with so much to do. And then I'll show you the monthly part, which I haven't done, to be totally fair. I've been really kind of off my game with this, but the monthly part is really so nice. And this is where I'll fill in just appointments. I'm not going crazy in here. I'll say like, okay, like I probably should have gone in here and said, our house is being blessed this day. I would have had our trip. I feel like now that it's coming into Holy Week and things like that, I want to come in and write down like the mass that I want to go to, throughout the week. I want to write down like when we're going to our trip. And I used to go in and highlight, things for my son, things for myself, things for my husband, but I do a lot of that on my phone in the calendar. I have a color for my husband, my Apple calendar. I have a color for my husband, a color for myself, a color for my son, and then a color for just like family stuff. And that is all in addition to, that's super, super helpful because I'm not always going to carry that planner around. But as far as meal planning goes, I will pick maybe 1 or 2 cookbooks that I want to pick from. So this week I picked this Magnolia Table. This is volume 2. This is a newer one to me, so I haven't cooked as many recipes out of here, so that's why I picked her. And then my friend gifted me the Wishbone Kitchen Cookbook, and again, this is a newer cookbook for me. I haven't cooked as much out of this one, so I want to find some meals, especially as it's becoming warmer and more summery. I feel like Meredith's meals are definitely more tailored to that. So I'm going to flip through here, find some recipes, and then I will also write down an ingredient list in this and take in the planner, and then take that planner with me to the grocery store. So, and the reason why, like yesterday, I was like, I don't really need to go to the grocery store. I have a meal for tonight. I needed like a couple things yesterday, like more sumo oranges. So I'm already planning on going to the grocery store Monday, right? So I'm gonna go, and I'm not gonna do a big grocery reset, but what, Wednesday I might do, like, okay, by that point we might be out of eggs, we might be out of cottage cheese, we may be out of the yogurt that I like. So maybe Wednesday I'll do the bigger grocery reset. Again, I feel like as women, especially, and stay-at-home moms, we can be in I don't even know where this came from, how we decided to be this way, like overly busy. We feel like we have to be overly productive. I didn't need to do the big grocery reset yesterday, so I waited, and now I'm gonna do it tomorrow, and all's gonna be fine. No one's starving, we're not out of food, and it just worked better for me. Sometimes on a Monday morning, you don't want to be like, you know, like I needed that day, as we have talked about a lot in the last couple of vlogs, I needed like a minute. So if you've got food and things are working, like don't become a slave to the routine. Don't become a slave to your planner. That's what none of this is about. So I'm gonna stay here for a minute and plan this. I will film myself doing it. The other thing I meant to say was once I have picked out a recipe, I will write in the planner what book and what page number it's on. So that way when I'm going to actually cook the recipe, I'm not like hunting down that recipe again. So like we're gonna do this shrimp and grits from the Magnolia Table Book 2, and then I just write down, okay, it's on this page number. And then that way I can find it just so much easier instead of like, oh my gosh, what book was that? Because I used to make that mistake. I would just write down what it was, and then it took me forever to find it in the actual book. So write that down. And yeah, that's it. I just spent probably like 12 minutes doing that. I wrote down, I'll show you. I wrote down literally every single, I wrote down, not in a beautiful way, but I wrote down all the ingredients over here. And then I wrote down like, let's see, for today, I have like soccer on Wednesday, want to upload the YouTube by 7, the salad that we're going to make, and then you can see like I have my Pilates, the walk, the water, morning medicine, and then I need to call and book my haircut. So something just to remind myself, and like I want to work on something for my TikTok, so like I'm going to write down a few of those things so I can remind myself like, oh yeah, I had that thought, I wanted to make that for TikTok, or I wanted to make that for YouTube, so it'll remind me to like actually get it done. But again, I'm not overwhelming myself with to-dos and overwhelming myself with too many things. We're not being overly productive, but we are keeping ourselves organized. All right, I've already had my lunch, but I want to show you my Sakara because I want to show you every time I have it this week. And today I had the seasonal medley quesadilla. So this is a dinner, but I'm having it for lunch, remember, because they're just a little bit, the lunches are just always a salad, and I can kind of just get old to have a salad every day. But this meal actually came with a salad. So you're still getting the greens, which Sakara really did help me with teaching me that I should probably have like a pile of greens in some form on my plate. They do come with dressings. I'm just not like a sauce dressing kind of a girl, so I didn't put the dressing on today personally. I did add some croutinis to my salad because I really wanted them, and because I am maintaining my weight, that's okay. I feel like that's a huge part of when I show the what I eat in the days on TikTok. I'm always trying to like, I'm maintaining my weight, but it takes a lot of effort to maintain your weight. It's not like, okay, I lost all the weight, now I can just eat whatever I want and I'll stay at this weight. It's like still a lot of work, but you have a little bit more freedom in picking and choosing on maybe when you want to add like a little crotini or a little treat, because it's just so much easier to maintain. And if I, gain a couple pounds, it's not the end of the world. I can just maintain for the rest of the week and like lose those. So your weight and your body is going to fluctuate, but I think when you're in the middle of, obviously all the time your weight is going to fluctuate, but when you're in the middle of trying to lose weight and you gain a couple pounds back, you're kind of like, wait, what's happening? But now that I'm maintaining, it's just such, I think, a nicer mental place to be. Because I'm like, okay, like I probably had too many treats this past week. I'll just like cut it back. Like that happened, I don't even know, a couple weeks ago. I was just like, oh, whoa, like I probably had too many, little treats. So I cut it back, and now I'm just like back to where I used to be. So it's, I don't know, it's just like it's worth the effort to get to the point of maintaining. So I think people will be confused. I'm like, oh, you have gluten, or if the what I eat in the day isn't like perfect. But I'm like, oh, well, I feel like having gluten, or because I hadn't had it in, for X amount of meals, and it all works out. Anyways, I can't decide now. It's 1 o'clock. I can't decide if I should. It's so lovely outside. Do I want to go back outside and just enjoy sitting on the patio and doing some needlepoint? I did start my period today, and I feel like that explains a lot of what was going on with me. I usually do not have that emotional or stressed out lead up to my period, so that is very new for me. Not sure. I hope that is not a continuous thing. I hope that was just like a change of season and maybe some stress with some stuff going on in our personal lives. And not all to be blamed on my period. But yeah, that does help me. It gives me a little bit of insight onto like the madness of the past couple days. So I can't decide if I should go sit outside and needlepoint. Why was I telling you that? Oh, because I feel like I do want to take it easy today and just keep relaxing and like taking it slow. So do I go just sit? We do have soccer practice tonight, so I'll probably walk with my husband tonight. So I'm thinking maybe just don't do the walk. I pulled out my spring clothes and I want to start organizing that. I feel like we're to the point where I could probably put away my heavier coats and a lot of my church winter clothes and like lady jackets that are just darker in color, and the blacks can maybe go away and I can start pulling out all the spring stuff, which is always so fun. Feels like you're shopping your closet. And the other thing I was gonna say is I need to put a lot of things up on Poshmark. So I might just set a little timer, sit out there for 30 minutes, needlepoint, let myself mentally relax. Maybe I'll listen to some classical music. Good morning, sweet friends. It is another glorious spring morning. It is going to be, I think, the hottest day of the week. So I'm wearing another Doen dress. This is my favorite, if not second, number one Doen dress that I own. It is the same dress as yesterday, same cut, but it's the extra small, so it just fits me a little bit better. And this dress came out the season after the blue one I was wearing yesterday, and they changed the material, so it just has a little bit more. The other one I would say feels like more vintage worn in, and this feels a little bit more structured, which I just absolutely love. The fit is just better than the blue one because it is a size smaller, but these little ruffles just kill me every time. I love it. It's so beautiful. So I'm gonna wear this baby today, and I'm hoping to do a switch out of my spring wardrobe in my closet, and I'm gonna walk you through all my Doen dresses, hopefully. But let's heat up my Sakara breakfast. Today I'm gonna do the muffin, the zucchini muffin, I believe. Let me see. Yes, Zen zucchini muffin with coconut bliss creme, and the spotlight is cacao powder. Contains, don't know how to say this word, something, a molecule, a molecule that can boost mood, promote calm, and increase pleasure. Its name comes from the Sanskrit Ananda, which means joy, bliss, delight. Spread our luscious Ananda spiked coconut creme on the zucchini muffin to feel the good vibes. I showed you this on the Saturday when I opened it on Saturday, but it does come with the zucchini, so I'm gonna slice that. But because it is just a muffin, oh my goodness, I cannot open it. Because it is just a muffin, I am also going to maybe peel an orange, and then I think I'm also going to put some sauerkraut on the plate because I haven't been eating my sauerkraut this week, and not to be gross, but sauerkraut does keep you regular. My husband ripped up all the packaging and made it look so ugly because the sauerkraut is already kind of creepy looking. I was like, why did you do that to me? My sauerkraut is already scary and you've made it scarier. But I get this at Costco and I'm blinking on the brand. I'll put it on the screen because I don't have it on here. This is a way better deal at Costco. The one at Whole Foods I think is the same price, but it's literally half of it. Anyway, so I'm gonna put a little bit of this with honey plus the muffin. So let's get her warmed up and plated. She is all plated. I added the sauerkraut with salt and pepper and honey, sliced the zucchini, did blueberries, and then I did slice the muffin and put a drop of that coconut creme on each little slice of muffin, and I added more honey to it. I used to just heat up the muffin and then just like eat it with a fork, and I feel like when I plate it and give it a little bit more. It breaks up the monotony of the like healthier meals and makes me feel like I'm having a full meal. Because like I said in the last Sakara meal, I'm not looking to lose weight, I'm just maintaining. So I feel like I can add a little bit of these things and not feel, you know, like, oh, I'm breaking out of the meal plan. But also nothing I'm adding here is adding a significant amount of calories. It's more so just adding nutrients. So now it feels like I have a nice little breakfast plate to eat. At the end of every season, I pack up all the clothes for that season. I put them in packing cubes and store them in a suitcase. And then I bring out whatever season we're entering out of their packing cubes and into my closet. So since it is officially spring, I have unloaded all of my spring and summer clothes. I just do that at the same time. To me, they are basically the same clothing, which I know maybe a more elegant lady, and I hope to be there, I would have separate spring, summer pieces. I kind of just, spring's here, we're gonna go full sun, spring, summer. So I've unpacked all of that. I am ready to switch it around in my closet, but I don't exactly have time to do that and film it in the way that I want to. So we're just gonna let those items sit out and breathe, maybe sort what needs to go to the dry cleaner, and then I'm going to film that in the next vlog. But I would love to show you my Doen collection because it is my pride and joy. I've been collecting Doen pieces since 2022, 2021. I bought my very first Doen dress actually as my Easter dress, and then the obsession has never stopped. So I'm gonna show you some pieces I regret, and yeah, let's get started. I've already shown you this dress, but let's start from the top. So this is the very first dress I ever purchased. She is a little bit see-through, but I'm obsessed with the floral detail, the sleeve detail on her. It's my absolute, I don't know. It's really hard to say which one's my favorite because earlier today I was saying that this one was my favorite, but the floral detail on this one, I just love her so much. And then I purchased, now I can't remember what I purchased next. I'm pretty sure, I know I purchased these two together. This is a silk. This is also, I'm gonna say every single one's my favorite. I love this one. The neckline is just stunning. It has a wrap you tie around. I love it so, so much. It's silk, so it's not as forgiving if you're feeling a little bloated. That's not the dress to wear. I bought this one at the same time. This is a blue. This is the one I hesitate on to sell because it does kind of give me like prairie, trad wife, kind of, I don't know. I think it's the pattern. My husband hates it. So I'm thinking of potentially selling this one, but it has a very similar cut to the, I always say this wrong, Ishia dress. It doesn't have the square. I really like the square of this one. This one's a little more rounded. After that, the next one I purchased was this blue one, which is the exact same cut as this guy, but I purchased her a little too large. She is, let's see, she's a small. This is an extra, extra small. You can just see she fits me really well, but this one is just a little too loose. She's a little loose in the sleeves. I think, you know, you can see me wearing this blue one earlier in the clips before this, and you can just tell like it's just not as fitted, which is fine. It's a different vibe, but the pattern on her is so beautiful. I will never sell her. So Doen will do the same dress over and over, but it's very rare that they'll do the same pattern. Like that silk one, I've seen them remake that over and over, but I've never seen it in the exact same pattern, which is nice. It makes you feel like you're getting an heirloom, one of a kind piece. The next one I purchased was this white Ishia dress. I never know how to say that, but it has that round neck. This one is painfully see-through. When we were in New York, I just didn't care. It was see-through and I just walked around like no big deal. Now that we're in Salt Lake, it feels a little inappropriate. And now that I am becoming Catholic, I'm like, I don't overly want to be that immodest. Then I purchased this guy, and this is the one I really want to sell. Taylor Swift wore this. I didn't buy it because of that. I bought it just because I liked it. It's so different than all my other Doen pieces, which is kind of why I went with it. But I think it's just too dark. It's just not me. I want to keep her because I bought it with my husband in New York, like on a trip. So it feels special, but I just don't feel like it's me. I feel like I purchased it just to purchase something. Then I purchased this one for family photos. Oh, that's what I should have said. The white one I purchased for family photos, and this one I purchased for family photos. So I don't think I'll ever get rid of these because it's a very special moment, obviously. And again, it has that same round neck, same sleeve, but it's a very fall, beautiful pattern. And I love this because I don't have anything else like it. And I think it fills a hole in my wardrobe, which is what I'm always kind of searching for, like, is this something that can extend my wardrobe versus like a lot of my Doen dresses are the same summer kind of florally girly pattern. Okay, I have two of the exact same Doen dress. The black one is the first dress I purchased, and I purchased it in a medium and it's just too big. I really wanted the red, but I purchased the black because I thought it would take me farther, but I ended up only wearing it at Christmas time because it's just such a Christmas dress. Like, it just feels holiday. So 2 Christmases ago, last Christmas, Christmas 2024, I found the red on Poshmark. So Doen has never made this dress again, but you can find it on Poshmark. And I got it in the small, and it fits so much better. And it reminds me of Judy Garland in Meet Me in St. Louis when she sings "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas." Cry my eyes out every time she sings that song. The medium is a little bit more comfy, and the red I definitely feel more uncomfortable in. So I used to think, oh, I'll sell this and get the small. But this is like, I can go to a Christmas dinner or like a Christmas party that I have to sit down in. This is like, I'm going to like a cocktail party where I'm going to be standing up. I did wear this to the midnight mass and I was freezing because my arms were exposed. I needed a different outfit for midnight mass, but it was perfect for Christmas Eve. It's perfect for a Christmas cocktail party if you're standing up, and just any Christmas party in general. And the black and the bigger size, you can like sit down at a dinner versus, not that I can't sit in this, but you know what I mean. The girls who get it. Like, you just sometimes want a little extra room. That's it. That's my Doen collection. I feel like I'm missing some for some reason. But yeah, I kind of, now, I think before I didn't want to sell any piece because they're one of a kind, and I just wanted to keep them because they were very special. They had, I purchased them at a very specific time. They have like a memory to them. But the Taylor Swift one, I kind of just like purchased just to purchase. And then the blue one, I just don't love it. So I kind of want to sell those two because they're not as special. And then I could purchase with that money one new dress that I'm actually obsessed with. The collection is larger. It feels easier to let go of a piece, I guess is what I'm saying. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave these out, and then I'm gonna do a whole closet switcheroo in the next vlog because I just don't have the energy to do that tonight. So I apologize, but that's my Doen dress.